Slash represented a rebranding for myself because, you know, Iceman represented an actor as well as a comedian as well as a singer at the time, and I wanted to move away from that moniker because my true passion, believe it or not, is music. Sing it out, sing it out. My first encounter with the music came through church, you know, going to a United church and hearing the choir sing and then hearing all these different parts in music being sung, and I'm like, yo, what's that? I asked my father, what's that? And he said, that's the alto, and I said, that's the tenor, and that's the bass, and that's the falsetto, and, or the soprano. And then I kind of just started to hear those things and learn how to put them together musically, and it just kind of came naturally to me. So I honed and harnessed my musical talents in the church, and then now that kind of evolved into me singing with a gospel group, and that kind of evolved into me becoming a recording artist singing, you know, what the world refers to as secular songs. Got to keep on walking. Yeah, so my first recordings came via Big Yard Music, under the guidance of CEO Robert Livingston. I was introduced to Robert Livingston via Brian Gold, one half the duo of Brian and Tony Gold, who did songs such as Can You, songs such as Irresistible, songs such as Hey Sexy Lady alongside Shaggy. So Brian introduced me to Robert, and that's where my real musical journey as a recording artist began. You know, we learned a lot of lessons at Big Yard, some tough lessons, some easy lessons, but lessons nonetheless. You know what I mean? The process of recording and the business of music. You can't just be doing music and not be doing music business as well. So I learned a lot in that ride from Robert, from most of the artists who were under that roster at the time. Shaggy, Rick Rock, Raven, Brian and Tony Gold, Prince Midas, you see me? All of them. At the time there was artists like myself, D Major, Wesley Diamond, Hawkeye as a generation coming up. So, you know, interacting with those brothers really taught me a lot about the music. So a lot of songs I recorded under the Big Yard banner under the name Iceman, because Iceman represented a different performer at a different time. You see me? So as Iceman, I recorded a number of tracks under the Big Yard banner, songs like Dancehall Vibes, which to this day is still being played. So welcome one and all to the original dancehall vibe, where the selectors and the radio disc jockey them a keep it alive. Hey, so bust it up, from me know the one but me bound the light and then push up. Me love to see the vibes and the dancehall full up. Sounds like that. Hey, say welcome one and all to the original dancehall vibe, where the selectors and the radio disc jockey them a keep it alive. Hey, so bust it up, from you know the one you bad, me want the light of push up. Me love to see the vibes and the dance all full up. Every woman to woman, pants and skirt and rub up. In about 2010, that journey with Big Yard came to an end. And you know, a few years later we moved on to meeting living legend Donovan Jermaine. Fast forward now to meeting Donovan Jermaine in 2014, and the real reggae side of Slash is really born. See what I say? So Jermaine gave me the platform now to become more of a reggae artist, harnessing my skills as a reggae singer internationally. And Donovan Jermaine is greatly responsible for Slash being heard around the world in markets like the Great Britain market, the European market, the Japanese market, the US market, the Caribbean market, the Spanish market. You know what I mean? Songs like Lost Love, songs like Consider Me, songs like Friday, you see me? Songs of that ilk recorded under the Penthouse banner, songs like Your Love Is Life. Those tunes are being played in many different markets across the world, and some of those songs are being charted as well. Yes. Oh, I miss those days. Some of my musical influences include, of course, and I don't care that everybody calls this name This is my musical influence. You can't take that from me. My musical influences include the great icon Hugh Beresford. We can come again, do it just the same. Yeah, yeah. There are some influences that I cleave to or cling to, and Beres is one of them. Luciano is one of them. You see me? Max Priest is one of them. Brian Gold is one of them. You'll never hear a voice the likes of a Brian Gold like ever in a real life. So those people make up my influences. Anthony Hamilton, Jodeci, particularly KC from Jodeci, 1 Year Morris from Boyz II Men. Those are some of my US influences, but the reggae influences stand strong and resolute. One day at a time, every day is fine. So I'm taking it. As far as my new projects go, we just continue to put out singles and continue to promote the brand Slash in the wider world. Songs like Lost Love have been doing very well for me, a cover version. I've lost the love I needed, a love to make me strong. I've lost the love I needed, how could I be so wrong? If I were only granted the right to start anew, my love would be lost in you. Oh, so the lost love behind me, true love won't find me, because I'm so lost.